Greta Stanley, welcome to Australian Musician.
Thanks for having me.
So, how are you doing in this age of isolation?
Oh, good. I guess it's a little different to normal life.
Yeah,
I'm lost for what to do with all this spare time. Well, this year was meant to be quite a busy year for music for me, and I usually work two jobs as well, so I
all right.
had a lot of downtime at home. But no, I'm surviving, and
Yeah,
it's fine. More time with the dog, so.
yeah. Are you with other people or you're on your own?
I live with my brother and his partner and a dog, my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. You've got
yeah,
some people around you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what plans did you have for 220 that you had to put aside?
Well, after the new single was released, we planned to have a tour that would have been starting in about 2 weeks, like
Yeah.
a single tour. So we would have done four shows for that, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, and Cairns. But obviously, with the situation, we can't do it this run. But hopefully, either the end of the year or next year, we will tour whatever's next. So yeah, and then also had some plans to record a new body of work. So whether that was an EP or an album, hadn't quite decided yet. There was potential to go overseas and record it with Tobias, the same producer that I worked on this single with. But yeah, we couldn't obviously we couldn't go ahead with any of that. But it just means that next year we'll have a firmer plan and we'll be able to follow it all up when life goes back to normality. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you have a revised plan? Have you got your head around how the next few months will shape up?
Well, I guess we don't have a plan as such. I guess the plan is to we've still got dates in mind for touring towards the end of the year. If circumstances allow, then we will tour then. And we've talked to venues and stuff, and we have it planned. It's just so unpredictable to tell how
Yeah.
things will go, but that is our plan. And there will be another single coming out mid-year, recorded with the same producer, Tobias Kuhn. So we do have another song up our sleeve. Released that. I've just released a film clip yesterday. So yeah, just kind of keeping the momentum, still releasing new music, planning to tour, but just the recording of an album has been put off just because I can't get in the studio until I can get out and about. But I have the songs pretty much ready, so it's just getting into a studio.
Yeah.
That's the issue at the moment, but there is still a bit we can work on behind the scenes for that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Soak Into This, which is the new single.
Yeah.
First of all, what does the title mean?
I guess the title, the song is about relationships and connection, and I guess the way that I wrote this song or how it was inspired was for myself about a romantic relationship and kind of the excitement of meeting a new person and kind of beginning to fall for them and being surrounded by new people. We were out and about in Brisbane for Big Sound and meeting lots of new friends of his and, going out and stuff like that. But the soak into this part was kind of like the slow down moments where you're one-on-one with a person and you have that chance to kind of really get to know them or really develop those feelings because it's that intimate time that you have. So it's kind of about all this fun stuff, but then slowing down and just really sinking into a moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where the title came from.
The song is probably maybe a little bit more poppier, but certainly a bigger production than
Yeah.
usual. Is that a conscious direction or just the way things are coming out?
I guess with this song, it wasn't so much a conscious direction. Me and Tobias were put together through our teams. And we had never met before or talked before. I'm familiar with Milky Chance and the Kooks and stuff, but I didn't know Tobias and he didn't know me. And when we got into a studio together, he kind of had been listening to my previous EP, Sun in My Eyes, and the little electronic embellishments. So he had this really small, simple kind of very cool beat on his laptop. He said, "Oh, I listened to your stuff and I came up with this little beat. Maybe we could just see what we come up with." We only had about 4 hours, and then within the 4 hours, it just turned into this very fun pop much more electronic kind of song, and we're both really happy with it. And that is a direction I would like to explore. Like, I had a lot of fun recording it. I really like the sounds that were involved, and I love his style of production. So yeah, it's definitely something that I do want to, if it allows and we can work on future stuff together, that is definitely the direction that we would be going in, I would say. But in saying that, like, a lot of my songs are quite emotional, so I don't know if they'll all have that strong pop vibe, but they still will have that kind of his signature sound, which is across a few of his artists. So, yeah.
So who are some other songwriters that you admire for the way they construct their songs?
Oh, I like so many musicians. I'm a big fan of Angie McMahon. These are just, recent ones. Phoebe Bridgers, I really, really love her stuff. The National all-time favourites are probably Jamie T. I've loved him forever. Soko, Kings of Leon. I really loved Missy Higgins growing up. She was definitely like someone that I guess was very influential to me as a younger girl, and the same with Lisa Mitchell. I remember seeing her on Australian Idol when I was probably 15 or 16. So they definitely, inspired me at that time to begin writing my own music. But yeah, they're the main ones that I can think of. But I mean, there's so much talent out there that, you listen to the radio and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah. As well as releasing the single Soak Into This, you released a video for it. Some of your videos are quite epic. They're like mini movies.
Yes.
As an indie artist, how are you able to do that?
Well, I was very fortunate in the sense that the last two film clips, so the one that came out yesterday and then the film clip for Paul, which was most previous to that, for Paul, a director by the name of Brendan Schoenmaker reached out, and he actually found my music. I think he might have just heard it on Triple J or something, but he'd reached out about another song from a long time ago, and he wanted to do this film clip for it for university for assessment. So he reached out about that, and I said, oh, well, actually that song's really old, but I have a new EP coming out. Maybe you can listen to some of these songs and see if you like any of those. And he loved Paw, and then, we agreed, okay, cool, let's work on that one. And he did it as part of a uni assessment, so I was the lucky artist that got this epic film clip, free of charge, which is a crazy opportunity for an indie artist. And then they did him and his team did such an incredible job that it was kind of a no-brainer to work with them again and, obviously this time around hire them and pay them for their work because it was outside of this uni thing. It was essentially the same team but different actors. And they did an incredible job on the new film clip. And it is that similar thing where it is like a little movie like Paul was. But I think I just got very fortunate to have that kind of connection with this great filmmaker and a great team. So I guess that's how that came about. And prior to that, I've had a few film clips just through friends and, people I've met just through music and doing, relatively good prices for some cool film clips. So, I just think it's a matter of meeting those people or being introduced to those people. Yeah, they're all young up and comers too, and they're just, I can't believe how talented they are. It's just insane.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the tools you use to create your music. Tell me about your guitars. When you think of a song idea, what's the guitar you pick up?
Well, I guess before last year, it used to always be my acoustic guitar. I always played acoustic guitar. I didn't know much about electrics. I had an electric around the house, but I never used it for live shows or anything. But when the music started to develop a bit more with the records, so I've got 3 bodies of work out now, and they kind of develop over time. There was a lot more electric guitar being used in the studio, and I went and purchased a really nice electric that I fell in love with. I don't know a lot about electric guitars, but I just played a few in the shop and found one that I really liked. And now it is kind of a mix. Like if something comes to my mind and I just want to pick up something and play and see how it goes, I'll go for the acoustic because it's always near my bed. I don't need to plug it in. It doesn't make a lot of noise. Yeah. But if I begin actually working and trying to finish a song, I go and pick up the electric and I either plug it in, like I have a little interface at home for just, home demos and stuff, or I just set it up in the spare room and play if it's not going to wake anyone up or or disturb anyone. So it is kind of a mix between the two, but I'd say all of my songs, at least in the last year and a half, are definitely more electronic. So the electric guitar is the instrument of choice when it comes to live shows and things like that. So
yeah, it's a Gretsch.
Yeah, I have a Gretsch, electromagnetic, and it's sparkly silver.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that part of the attraction?
Yeah, it was. But I was like, I really hope it sounds good because it looks really good. And I do love the sound of it, so yeah.
Yeah, and the acoustic, that's a Takamine that you use?
Yeah, the Takamine, yeah. And I've had that since I was 16, I think. Yeah, my dad got that for me as a 16th birthday present. Probably the most elaborate gift I've ever been given. So, I've held on to it for a while. And I've tried it, like I had a mini Maton for a period of time, but the Takamine, just the sound of it was, so beautiful that the mini never really compared to it. So kind of got shoved under the bed for a while. But yeah, the Takamine is my acoustic of choice. So they're really good.
And it looks like you plug into a Vox amp with your Gretsch.
Yeah, so I went and had a look at a few amps just at the local music store in Cairns, which is Buzz Music, and the guys there are really good. Like, they ran me through a few of the amps and just told me to plug in and try a few with the guitar, and that was just the one I liked. The sound of it was really good. It wasn't too complicated, it was very simple to use, and the weight was easy for me to carry around, because there was another one that I did really love the sound of, and it had a few more, kind of reverb options and things like that. But it was so incredibly heavy that it was just impractical for practices and taking to rehearsals. I went with the Vox.
Yeah. You took part in the Isolated Festival recently, the Instagram Music Festival. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, it was really obviously a different experience to any other gig that I've played, but I think it's a really awesome thing to have, kind of, given the kind of crisis that's going on in the world. I think it's kind of a really positive, reassuring thing that is happening for artists. Like, we still get to play to people and perform for people, and then, for the listeners as well, you have this nice kind of distraction from all the kind of anxiety-inducing things, and it was really fun, and I think I just think it's really awesome and clever to do at such a time, and I had fun. It was hard to I guess play when you're reading what people are saying. Like, you're looking up, you can see exactly what people are saying, and you're just like, I hope it's not bad. In the crowd, you can't really hear what people are saying, but yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it. It went so fast. Yeah.
Did you pick up some new followers?
Yeah, I did. So I think it was within it being announced that I was on it and me performing, there was maybe like five days or not a lot of time, but I picked up probably like 250 new followers on Instagram, which is pretty crazy and pretty good for that time, because, part of touring is you pick up new people along the way, and I didn't get to tour, so I still had this really cool opportunity to, make new fans, and through this kind of unexpected way. Yeah,
because I was watching, and pretty much throughout the performance you had close to 500 people watching. I mean, if you had a gigs of 500 people each day, you'd be pretty happy, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said when I hopped off. I said, my partner was here, and I just said, I've never had 500 people come to one of my shows, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it was really really cool to have that. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, I don't know if, people will tune in or whatever. But it was really cool to have, a build up of followers leading up to it, and then that many people actually take the time to listen on the day was really special. So yeah.
So what's the first thing you're going to do when this isolation period is over?
probably go out for dinner and see my friends. But no, I guess with music, the first thing that we are aiming to do is just get out on the road and actually go play some shows. Myself, well, the band and I are all pretty excited for that to happen, and hopefully it can happen before this year ends. That's the goal. So I think we're looking, around October or something. But yeah, it just depends how it goes. But that's obviously something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'd really like to do. And outside of music, probably, yeah, just being able to go to the beach and get out and I'm not too much, I'm not a very social person anyways. I do like a lot of time at home, but I do love seeing my friends and going to the markets and kind of doing outdoor kind of nature stuff. So that is still quite limited at the moment, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, but I'm enjoying the downtime.
Yeah. All right, Greta Stanley, thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. Great. See ya.